to finish the year, you posted on from Augusta, and you said, "You won't see me again until I have something better to show."
Indeed, and I believed that deep, deep down inside. I was done at Augusta. Whew. Yeah, so Jan and I started working together, and I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity, and Jan's a great guy, and I appreciate everything that he's done for me over my whole career. He's been a huge motivator of mine. I'm not a person who's good at... this is my biggest lesson that I learned now working with McCall in 2020... What year was that? 21 and 22. And then also working with Jan in 24 is that I do not do well at communicating when I'm kind of in an athlete-coach relationship. I think I feel kind of like I'm the underling a little bit. I feel like it's disrespectful to communicate and to kind of give how you're feeling and what you think we should do differently. And now I've gotten myself into some problems twice from not being able to do that for whatever reason. And so anyhow, I had like 4 mental breakdowns, and I was even starting to have symptoms in my rib area going into Oceanside. And I was like, I actually don't know if I'm even going to be able to do the race because my rib was starting to hurt so bad. You know, so maybe hating my life and my body starting to break down, maybe that's what it takes to be the best. And so I'm gonna keep doing it. And so anyhow, you know, I think you saw in my intensity coming down the finish line that I was pumped. And I was really excited for the future. And once again, the future seemed clear again. Like, oh, I can still compete with the best in the world. And I'm not there yet, but I can be there soon. And so next morning, I woke up and went to the pool. I couldn't walk. And what did I do? I did intensity in the water. And then my ribs started to hurt again. And then the next day, what did I do after driving 7 hours home? Oh, what do you think I did? I got out of the car and I did intensity in the water. And then by Wednesday of that week, I literally couldn't lift my hand over my head. And so, you know, what's the logical thing to do when you can't do that?
Tell your coach and rest.
Do the hardest set of the entire season Thursday after winning a race and feeling like you're back on track. And the next morning, I was like, uh-oh. And so what's the logical thing to do? Go to the long course meters pool and swim another hard set to the point where you can't lift your arm over your head. And then take the next day off now that you literally can't lift your arm over your head. And then get ready for a real hard set and ice it right here in this very place. Ice it while you're eating your bowl of cereal. And then move and hear it snap. That's the logical thing to do. So anyhow, 1 month off. That was a mental struggle. That was tough. Taking 1 month off after winning a race and being like pumped up and ready. That was tough, but it was dumb, and I did it to myself for the reasons that I've already created a track record. I think McCall and I could have made it to being at very least competitive for the win at the World Championship together had I been able to communicate better when I'm in a position of, what is the word here? Authority? I feel like a coach is an authority figure, and I'm... Anyone? What is the word? What am I trying to communicate here?
Subordinate, adjective, lower in rank, position, or authority.
And that's not correct. In the athlete-coach relationship, that is not correct. And I got myself into problems with McCall by not communicating. And then I got myself into problems with Jan through not communicating. And my lesson here is that it doesn't matter who you work with. I don't care if it's fill in the blanks with who's the best coach in the world right now. Like who is known. What's Pogacar's coach? What's that guy's name?
Yeah.
You know, like it don't matter who you work with. If you don't communicate what's going on inside and communicate your intuition as to what needs to be altered, it will never work. So that was my major lesson.
So what was your next race?
My next race was the Mont Tremblant 70.3, which I won, but which my stomach, now we're starting to get stomach issues. That's something new to me. And that happened in Mont Tremblant, and my stomach started to shut down. I don't know where that came from. It's probably maybe year over year of eating like shit could potentially be that. And so we did that race, and I won, and I raced it, at least to win. I tried to win, and I got to the front relatively quickly. It was only 360 watts, but and then I did win. And so, the problem with not going up against the top tier is that you maybe think you're on track, You think you're on track still, but the reality is you're not even remotely on track, and I wasn't on track. And my stomach's starting to become a problem too, so the writing's on the wall here. So then we carry on, and we go another month's training, and things are moving back in the right direction. My swim was, I wasn't able to push crazy hard because I was so gun shy from my rib, but at least I was like starting to be able to do sets again and stuff. And then we went to Lake Placid Ironman, and I had to do well there if I wanted to make it to Kona. And then that race went, the swim went atrocious. I think I don't know why I refer to me and Trevor as we. I feel like he does the same thing to me. Isn't that weird? That's a little bit weird. My brother, Trevor, and I did horrible in the swim. And, I think I was like 6-something minutes down out of the water. And then I got onto the bike and pushed 287 watts average. 287 watts average after spotting 6 minutes. 6 minutes in the water. I don't even know what to say about this. Now I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm not thinking in the moment right now, am I? Anyways, come off the bike with Trevor. And Trevor, he's hungry. Now that's a hungry guy right there. And he goes and he just starts running. He's seeing times 330 per K or whatever he's seeing in his watch, and he just keeps going. And I see 330 per K, and I'm like, oh, that's too fast. It's too fast. There's no way. You can't do that. And so I don't even go with him, even though I had the opportunity to go with him. I came off the bike with him. And whatever, long story short, run okay through the half. Stomach starts to give me problems as it was already doing it. The writing was on the wall in Mont Tremblant. Puke my guts out. Don't eat anything, and run a 246. So that wasn't the best experience. And so then I sort of was like, okay, I don't think I respond well to the high volume program. And then, Jan and Dan and I had some internal conversations, and the conclusion was Lionel wants to fail by Lionel's hands. And they didn't agree with that, but I said, well, I'm the one who's got to go out there and walk the marathon. So I kind of want to fail by my own hands then. If I'm going to fail either way, I'm failing on my own hands. From here on out, that's how this is going to go. Because I don't know why. That's the type of person I am. And I'm secure with that still to this day. And I'll be secure with that forever. So now I'm on my own. I do some training for a month leading into Ironman Canada. And I'm like, I can't go into another Ironman with this fear of puking. So then I went to Ironman Canada, and they canceled the swim, so it really wasn't a good data point for me to gain a lot of insight. But I rode okay, for a no swim race. I pushed 313 watts average. Okay, not bad in Kona. Not bad in Kona after swimming really well. Not bad. And then ran a 245 or a 6 off of it with a relatively not great second half, and then puked my guts out at the finish line. So that was still quite worrying there. But at least in my mind, I was like, okay, the bike power's back in an okay place. We're moving in a good direction. The running's still sucking here pretty badly, but maybe it's because your stomach is shutting off. Like, we've got to really work on the stomach side of things here. So then Kona's up next. And, well, you pretty well know everything that happened at the Kona camp. We did 20 videos. There was really nothing that we left out of the videos. And so Kona happened. And I won't lie, well, you know all this already. I wasn't even like talking a tall game or anything. I mean, I wasn't even trying. I literally said that spiel about you don't even need a power meter all you need is someone at halfway or whatever and tell you your deficit, and if you haven't halved it, then push harder. You don't even need a bike computer. Just get the deficit and
go off feel.
Say it's 5 minutes. Then 5 minutes, you'd probably want to bridge that down by Javi, I would say.
Is that where you did it?
So hopefully you got someone out there halfway, like at right around where we're at, right? Waikoloa area, and tells you, if they tell you 4, then you're like, you better pick it up, right? And then Trevor messages me, and 2 days before or 3 days before, and he's like, so are we crushing the bike? And I'm like, no, I felt bad. I was like, no, I was just effing around. Like I was saying that as a joke. It was literally just joking. It's like that, you just sabotage your race if you do that. But it's comical to listen to myself because I'm like, no, actually that's what you have to do. That is what you have to do. That's literally what I did in 2017. I mean, so you're going to spot them 5-6 minutes in the water, and then you're going to lollygag the bike, but you think that you're going to win. So the reality is I didn't think I was going to win. I didn't try to win. I didn't do the training to win. And so therefore I went to the race, and you know what happened there? It was mediocre at the that's an overstatement to call that race mediocre. Swam okay though. Pretty good swimmer now. Best discipline, actually. It's my best discipline by far, swimming.
In the Ironman.
In the Ironman, that's right. And mediocre bike, pushed 23 watts. I pushed 290. I pushed 313 in that Ironman. So I don't know what happened there. Like why a month and a half later you didn't push more than you pushed. That's called like progression over time, but whatever. And then walked the second half of the marathon as per usual. And what a horrible story that is. What is just a horrible story that is. Didn't try. Cam Worth comes by. He's not even pushing a lot of power. He's riding like very intelligently, just a nice steady output. He knows he can ride well and will put time into him. Didn't even try to go with him. Trevor comes by, massive power, riding like someone who actually wants to win. Didn't go with him. And then walked the marathon. What a great story that is. Wow, what an inspiring story that is. Don't even try. So that was Kona. So...
what are some lessons you learned this year?
It's not an inspiring year, is it?
No.
Wow. Listen to this story.
What are your main takeaways, do you think?
My main takeaway from 2024 is that if you want to be a YouTuber, then be a YouTuber. Because you're doing great. Keep it up. People are going to stop watching when this freaking uninspiring garbage keeps coming out. But if you're still an athlete... what do we hold a race for? We hold a race to see who can win on the day. And so, do you want to win? Is this just a job now, or do you want to win? Because you're doing nothing that indicates that you want to win. You're saying you want to. You're not even saying you want to win anymore. It's so cringe. You're not even saying you want to win anymore. I guess at least you're not lying, At least you're not just trying to like save sponsors or something. So the lesson is, it's not even a lesson. There is no lesson. The lesson is what I already told you. If you're going to have a coach, then you've got to be very open with them. And your coach should be cultivating a relationship that is requesting that kind of internal feedback from you. They are trying to get it out of you because no one knows what you're feeling, and no one knows what you can handle, and no one knows what's too much. And sometimes it's even too little, The lesson is, if you have a coach, then you have to communicate with your coach. It'll never work with whoever you're working with if you don't do that. What really 2024 is a realization. First off, Patrick Lang won Kona in this new era where everyone is next level. The game has just completely moved on, And Patrick Lang, whom won the year that I led and beat me 20 miles in. He won. He's 38. He's even older than I am. So the game hasn't, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good guys now. But the very top of the Ironman game is still the same. It's the same guys that are doing the same things. So the game, so what's wrong here? Well, me, that's what's wrong here. Okay, and so the realization is You were better 10 years ago than you are now. No word of a lie. No word of a lie. You have all of this knowledge now. All of this knowledge, and you're worse. So therefore, most of that knowledge has not improved performance, meaning the inputs to high performance is a lot simpler than what you currently know, right? What you currently think. Trust yourself. Because before I had all these inputs, I just trusted myself and my intuition. And people thought what I was doing was dumb. And my response to them now is, and what race have you won? What race did you win again? You know? Lang, maybe in 17, he could say, oh, your training was shit, buddy. No one else really could have, could they? So it's called trust yourself. The very best guys do trust themselves. So I lost that. I've lost that.
So you're going to go back to the training that you used to do?
I mean, what it takes to win now is more than what it would take to have won in 17. So you actually have to set the bar higher. You have to set the bar higher, but you have to believe and see it. You have to see it. If you can't see it, it's not going to happen. The race won't win itself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The game's too high that you can't win a major race without planning ahead and visualizing and seeing yourself winning it. So what am I going to do? Well, I already kind of in previous videos kind of told you, gave you my mind, how I would create the training. It's very simple. What I know will get me neck and neck for the W in any major race. And then I just set some benchmarks on the way to that race that I need to hit in order to, when that race comes, be ready to hit the numbers that it will take to be neck and neck for the W against anyone in the world. And do I believe that I can still do that? Yes. Do you think I'm deluded? I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. I'm so done caring. I don't care. I don't care if you think that I need to ride my bike 15 hours a week in order to be competitive. I totally disagree. I don't. I do need to ride my bike 5 hours at 330 watts though. Agreed on that. Mm-hmm. How I get there, I mean, that's between me and the team. You know, I'll get there. Am I excited to make these diluted numbers reality? Absolutely I am. Absolutely I am, and I believe I can.